This is Dan, joined by my co-host Nathan Smith for Niche Sports. This is the Full Force MMA podcast, and we're joined by a special guest tonight, Cage Warriors Crazy Chris Price. How are you doing, Chris?
Fantastic.
As always, thank you for joining us. We were going to do it last night, but another tiredness and long days. You went to bed early, didn't you? Tell us about yesterday because it was a bit grueling. We'll start there.
Just a lot of training yesterday. A lot of training. I got home late, and to be honest with you, I'm doing a lot of training every day. I'm not overtraining, but I'm just doing enough. If you get me, like I'm at that point. So yeah, I'm just fucked all the time right now.
So is it safe to say you've started camp now because you've got 5 days in Manchester?
Yeah, definitely. I'd say that my camp started last week, and yeah, it's more than anything. I'm just getting back to training because December was heavy. I'll say that it was a very heavy December.
That's exactly what I've got here on my notes. Heavy Christmas, because I've seen
very heavy Christmas.
Seen the fun that you've been having with your dad, and then pizzas lately.
All them Indian never ever put a fucking fish on a pizza. I don't give a shit what anybody says. Elon Musk apparently likes anchovies and pineapple on his pizza. Okay.
Oh God!
It must be. You know what? It must be an elites thing. It must be something that the elites like.
Illuminati shit. That.
Yeah. There's some weird shit going on with that fish and pizza.
How's it going, Nathan? How are you doing?
So yeah, no, I'm good. Yeah, no, about these horrible combinations. I'm not sure. Not sure going from Shamrock and the amazing food to this is a big difference. But what is it like? What is it like over in Next Gen? Because I imagine just the atmosphere is crazy good. You know, obviously a lot of hard work, but
oh my God, it's a laugh. It's a fucking mint gym to be in. So much bands. Everyone's pretty funny, and the training is fucking hard. Like hard. Paul and the team get us fucking grafting every day, and we're learning every day as well. And the rounds are just the phenomenal rounds you get over there. You don't. There's a saying: you go to the Next Gen, you don't get rest rounds.
How did you end up there? What was your journey like to ending up training at Next Gen?
So obviously, I started off at a gym called Blackburn Predators. I did most of my amateur career, big majority of my amateur career there under Rob Friedman. Then I moved to Manchester Predators, which was an affiliate to Blackburn Preds, under Gavin Boardman. I did most of my professional fights under Gavin, and then I had my Cage Warriors debut, and I just decided I needed to have a change of scenery, and I needed to, because I'm fighting some of the best guys in the world now, fighting on Cage Warriors, fighting like the best in Europe, and obviously eventually I'll be fighting in the UFC one day. I'm going to be fighting the best of the best of the best. I need to be training with the best of the best of the best. So I made that decision to move to Next Gen. I trained at Next Gen on and off, doing bits of sparring and going down for the odd session since I think 2018. I've been going down like maybe once a month or something like that. You know, just to have a different scenery. So they all knew me pretty well before I made the move. So it wasn't incredibly daunting going there, but it was a big change up though, especially with the intensity of training there. It's very hard training there.
On your journey, Chris, on your way to getting to Next Gen, we've seen you fight on UKFC as an amateur, FCC early as a pro, and then the natural progression was then obviously the Cage Warriors. Do you think, especially obviously on the English scene, that's like stepping up in levels at the right time? So do you feel it's been the right thing to do, especially where you're at now, going into, which is a very big year for you? Because I remember when you made your debut, and I'll add the image of the tweet. I was hyped for Cage Warriors debut, and I said, like, this the guy is the one to watch on the card, blah blah. And unfortunately, you didn't get the win. You bounced back since, but yeah, I'll put the tweet up on this clip saying that you was the one to watch. I've been mad on you for a while. So do you think, like I said, do you think them smaller promotions and the natural progression, it's been the right timings for you each time?
I'd say so, definitely. As an amateur, I fought the Uzu at amateur. I fought guys. Some of the guys that I fought, well, one in particular fights for ONE FC now, Ben Royal. There's a few other guys on there that are doing really, really well at pro. So I racked up quite a lot of amateur experience, and then I made the move to pro. I had some, not gonna lie, I had some last minute replacements for my first few pro fights. But at the end of the day, you're building yourself up, aren't you? At the end of the day, you're working your way up. I had some decent fights too, and then it was a natural progression. I needed them harder fights on Cage Warriors, so I made that move to Cage Warriors.
Absolutely. It was April last year you made your debut, and you bounced back in September. So it wasn't, you didn't exactly sit on the sidelines for ages, umming and ahhing and feeling depressed for yourself. It was a bit of a quick turnover to get back in there, weren't it? What was you thinking behind that?
It was a quick turnover, but I'm not gonna lie, I was depressed as shit. It fucking sucked ass losing in front of all them people, man. I'm not gonna lie. That's what but hurting that much is what pushed me to put all them hours in and just get back at it. That's what pushed me so hard, was knowing that I made it. Everyone was expecting me to go in there and basically perform like they were expecting fireworks. And to be honest with you, if I went in there with a different mindset and I had the team that I have now, no offense to my past team, but if I had the team that I have now, I would have obliterated that guy. I'm not even kidding.
I agree with that. Like you said, everyone was expecting fireworks. I was one of them people. Not going to lie, I was one of them people.
Yeah, I was expecting to finish Falk in the first round or the second round, to be honest, and it's a bit gutting because I really want to fight him again. I really, really do, but it doesn't make sense anymore. It just doesn't make sense. Like I asked because I was thinking I want to fight him, and they were just like, no. Like, number one, I've moved up in weight. There's no way in fucking hell I'm going to fight at 66 kilos ever again. Like, featherweight's a no-no for me now. And also, they told me there's a good way to look at it. Falk taught me a lesson. Learn that lesson and just move forward, move on. It's one of them. Got to give that guy that win, to be honest, and just leave it like that.
That's it. Nate?
Is that one of those things, though? Obviously, you say you learned a lesson there, because I mean, most combat sports athletes don't go their whole career undefeated. It's very rare that happens. So, do you think, in sort of perspective now, you learned a lot from that defeat?
Yeah, it's especially in mixed martial arts, because we just fight hard fights all the time in this sport, and out could happen. Like, I was a massive favourite going into that fight, and fuck. I made one mistake. I was on my back, and his grappling was really, really strong. And I thought in my head, if I'm on my back, I'm going to submit him anyway. That's literally what I was thinking, and I'm never going to go into a fight with that mindset ever again. I learned a lot, mate, a lot. And going forward, I'm a lot stronger, physically, mentally, and just tactically as well. Like, my fight IQ's improved from that fight. I learned a lot about myself.
Was that the main thing, sort of, the key lesson from that fight that you took in? Because you obviously did get a win. You did get that first Cage Warriors win. What was the main thing that you applied from that fight going into your successful fight at Cage Warriors?
Basically, it's just a fight. Going into it, just a fight. It's no different to sparring in the gym, except obviously there's a bit of a bonus at the end, obviously, getting a bit of a woo at the end of it. And also, like I was saying, how do I put it? It was my mindset to fighting's changed. Like, I look at it a lot differently now. and like I said, fight IQ. Like I've got a lot better fight IQ now, and I know what I need to do now. I've got a team around me as well that are giving me the right strategies to win fights.
Absolutely. Talking about mindset and stuff, obviously it's well documented that you're autistic. So it does that when it comes down to the mindset, does that have any effect on you whatsoever? Do you know, for example, when you have had a loss or when you've had a bad day?
Oh yeah. Yeah, like I'm not going to sit here and lie. I'll give up some vulnerabilities. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, as an autistic person, yeah, I do. But everybody in this sport is going to have good days and bad days, and them bad days fucking hurt bad. Like coming back to the gym after being an idiot over Christmas. Like I've learned a lesson there not to get too out of shape. I've had some hard fucking days coming back because I'm at a gym now where you can't slack. Like you slack the slightest at nextgen, they'll make you pay for it. Yeah, it does hit. Things do hit a little bit more emotionally when you're autistic. Because at the end of the day, this is my whole life. This means a lot to me, like a fucking lot. I can't just brush things off. But at the same time, that can be used as an advantage. Like I'm just hyper focused into things, like really hyper focused into things. So when I lost against Falk, I was hyper focused at getting that win, and listening to the coaches and whatever they say goes. Like just live by that. And yeah, pros and cons, I guess.
That's it. Well, like you said, you had a heavy Christmas. Do you feel like this time next year you hope for an early fight date in the year? Because then you won't have to eat your dad's shit pizzas over Christmas and stuff, will you? You know.
That was, to be honest with you, that was the plan for this one, to be honest, but it just went to shit because I just had a fight, then I went on holiday, and the worst thing was, right, I had my fight on the Friday, I remember, and normally I fight on the Saturday. I basically go out that Saturday night, I have a few drinks, and then Sunday I'll eat like fuck, and then Monday I'm back training. But because it was on the Friday, I had all the Friday night drinking. Then Saturday and Sunday I was just eating like fuck. And then I don't know how, but I got back to the gym on Monday fat as fuck. Like I remember Adam Cullen looking at me and saying, "How the fuck are you that fat?" Like looking at me, "You're so fat. What the fuck?" Because I went from being like 78 kilos to 86 kilos in the space of a weekend. I don't know how I did it.
Wow.
I just love food. I just love food, and I love the high life, mate. I need to stop. I need to like behave myself. Fuck.
It's almost impressive. It's almost 78 to 80. That's impressive.
No, it's not impressive. It's fucking detrimental to my career.
I know.
And the fucked up thing is, I used to fight at 66. I don't know how.
Crazy that's
I
literally
don't know how I used to fight at featherweight.
You speak to sort of using that defeat as a lesson to, you know, improve your fight IQ. How do you approach fights now at nextgen? Is that a lot where they help you, you know, sort of devise a game plan without giving too much away?
I can't give too much away, but it's just the way that Paul, Ellis, and Adam organise the training sessions and the drills that we do. Like any coach in the world can show you a technique. Okay? It's how to apply that technique in a real situation. It's how to organise your techniques, if you get me. That's what nextgen are really good at. It's like I've been fighting for 10 years, like, and I've been training for fucking probably 19 years altogether. I know how to throw a kick. I know how to throw a punch. I know how to shoot a takedown. I know how to transition on the ground. I know how to apply submissions. they're teaching us how to do it in a way that leads you to victory against high level opponents. It's organizing the techniques, if you get me. So yeah, game planning, I'd guess. I guess that's what we call it. So like it's just having a direct route to victory based on your strengths and your opponent's strengths and weaknesses, if you get me.
And you speak to a direct route to victory. Obviously, rear naked choke in the first round against Dean. How do you feel? How describe to me that 60 seconds sort of after you win that fight, and what was the feeling through you after that?
Just one word, mate. I'll just say one word: euphoria. That's the only
Yeah.
word I can describe. It didn't feel real. It just didn't feel real. Like it was fucking incredible.
First winning the famous yellow gloves, and it certainly won't be the last, Fraser.
You're incredible. And do you know what? If I beat Falk in the first fight, I don't think that would have felt as good. I'm going to be really honest with you. I think because I lost against Falk, and I had all this shit in my head, like, fuck, if I lose this, then what the fuck am I doing here? Do you know what I mean? That was going through my head, like, fuck, going into that fight, and I was just thinking, I've literally put everything into this, like, every fucking thing. I've listened, I've dieted correctly, I've done everything right. The guy was good. In my opinion, like, Deck's better than Falk. Dean's actually a better fighter than Falk. Like, on paper, he was a lot more dangerous as an opponent, and a few of my coaches were saying that he was a lot more dangerous. With Falk, I just made a mistake, but Deck was a very dangerous fight for me because he had very well-rounded skill set. Like, he was very good on the feet, very good on the ground, and he had very good wrestling. So it was just, but no, that feeling when I beat him, I just knew that I earned that. I really, really earned that. And coming back from that loss, it just meant so much to me.
Love that. We're just drifting back onto food, so I know we keep going from fighting to food to fighting. You said yeah, you love. What is your go-to meal, Chris? Especially after you've just had a fight, what is your go-to meal? What's your craving?
Easy, pizza, just a pepperoni pizza. The bigger the better.
No anchovies.
No fucking anchovies, no pineapple, no fucking mushrooms, no fucking weird sauces or anything. Just a plain fucking cheese, tomato, pepperoni pizza, okay? Maybe add more meats to it, like, proper meats, not fucking live. That shit stays in the ocean. Fuck that. Get it off my pizza.
Do you have a dream venue, Chris?
Oh, dream venue for fighting?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say I do, yeah. It's, believe it or not, Manchester Arena.
Oh, yeah.
Like, a lot of people expect me to say, like, Mandalay Bay or, like, some big arena in America or something, or somewhere in, I don't know, in Dubai or Abu Dhabi or something. No. I want to fight in front of all my friends and family. I want everybody from my town to get a train, come over, and I want to fight in Manchester Arena. That's what I want to do. When I was training at Manchester Predators, before I made the move to nextgen, I used to get the train to Manchester Predators. The train station was Manchester Victoria. It's literally right at Manchester Arena, the AO Arena. It's literally just there. So every day I was walking out of the train station, I'd look at that arena. I'd just keep looking at that arena. And I just kept telling myself, I'm going to fight there one day. I'm going to fight there one day. I'm going to fight in the UFC there one day. That's my dream. Just because everybody that I know and love can come and see me do it there.
One thing I will say on that, though, it's not your dream because you're manifesting it. It's your goal. You're experiencing it now. You're on the journey now. You know what I mean? Dreams aren't real, brother. Dreams aren't real, brother. Goals are real.
It's a very big goal, and I'm fucking taking that goal. Smashing that
Absolutely.
goal.
Well, you're going to get to fight in Manchester in March, aren't you? So I'm mega excited for that. I'm going to come down for that as well. Saying come down for it, I'm only down the road in Salford and saying it like it's a million miles away.
Was that
Mate.
definitely like an attraction to joining Cage Warriors, knowing that you have those goals to be in the UFC, knowing that pathway from Cage Warriors to UFC is so prevalent, so many fighters go that way? Was that a major part for you joining them?
100%. I had a lot of offers going in. After my last fight that I had on the regionals on UKFC, I had a lot of options on the table. I had an option to fight in Bellator. I was going to get paid some decent money on that. I had offers from other promotions, and I just thought to myself, long term, like, where do I want to be in 2 or 3 years' time? Where do I want to be? I want to be in the UFC. That's my goal. That's my ambition. That's why I started doing the sport, was to, get them 50 G's off Dana White. That's why I'm doing it, mate.
Yeah, baby.
To get that fucking gold belt and hear Bruce Buffer say I'm new. That's the whole reason I started fighting. Like, anybody who starts fighting, if that's not your goal, you shouldn't be in there. That needs to be your goal. Cage Warriors is the way there. Cage Warriors is the gateway. So I took Cage Warriors because I know I get the right fights in Cage Warriors. I make the right moves. I fucking win fights impressively. I'm going to get the attention of Dana White, and I'm going to get signed to the UFC. I know that. I know that in my fucking heart and soul.
And is that 2024? Your goal is to, I guess it's to climb the ranks of Cage Warriors and really start creating that bigger buzz and maybe going for gold?
I'm not going to rush anything, but I'm aiming for 3 fights this year. 3 hard fights. Like, get in there, get them wins, and hopefully get the attention of the UFC brass. If not this year, next year, put some more fights in Cage Warriors. Try and get the attention of the UFC brass. If not, maybe I end up fighting for the belt. Win that. Try and get the attention of the UFC brass. Don't happen. I'll just keep winning, defending the belt, whatever I have to do. All I want is to get signed to the UFC. That's the whole reason I'm doing this sport.
I think the numbers from Cage Warriors to UFC is ridiculous. I think it's on something like 115 now.
Yeah, it's bigger than any promotion. Bigger than any promotion. Like,
it's unbelievable.
I don't get why some people like. I do get it, because obviously some promotions will pay you more. I get that, but if your goal's to get signed to the UFC, the UFC pay the most out of all these shows. Really, if you think about it, if your goal's to fight in the UFC, you want to get on Cage Warriors. End of fucking story.
Absolutely. When we talk about legacy and stuff like that, I know you're cementing your reputation now as it goes, but when all's said and done, what type of legacy do you want to leave, Chris? How do you want to be remembered?
I want to be remembered as that guy that taught all them young kids with autism, with ADHD, with whatever difficulties they have. I want to be that guy to get there and tell them all that, I did it. It means you can all do it. Don't let anybody fucking tell you can't do something. That's it.
Fucking love that, man. Love that. Have you got anything else to add, Nathan?
No, really, that was sort of going to be my last question. Just that, knowing that you can be such an inspiration to people with autism and fellow struggles, that must almost, not obviously not weigh on you pressure-wise, but almost boost you up and feel like there's a greater purpose to all of this.
100%. Another purpose that I have for all of this, like a big motivation for me going into this year is, I'm getting married now, you might have heard.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, I'm getting married, and me and my girlfriend, we need to move out, and then we've got to sort out a fucking wedding. So that's not going to be cheap. So I've got to start smashing heads and get signed to the UFC.
That's it, man. That's it. Well, Chris, I will see you at Cage Warriors in March. I'm sure we'll probably speak again before that. But if not, I hope camp goes really well. You're rolling around with them tough bodies on the mat at nextgen. And we'll speak to you again soon. Thanks for joining us, mate.
Thank you, guys. It's been top. It's been a pleasure.